Kia ora e te iwi, no mai hara mai ki UFC on Sky, ko Ravinda Hunia tōku ingoa. Joining me in studio, UFC number 5 lightweight, Dan Hooker. Welcome on in, Dan.
That doesn't sound too bad.
That's a tough title. Thought I'd throw it in this week. You deserve it.
Thank you. Worked hard for it.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot happening in terms of Dana White Contender Series, and you are very much involved in helping the boys get prepared for it. Of course, we're talking about Aaron Toe, Navajo, Stirling. Just want to get your thoughts. We know that you will be going over to Las Vegas when Aaron Toe competes. So talk to us about, what's happening from here on in ahead of that opportunity for Aaron.
Yeah, so that's what have we got, a week and a half of hard training left for Aaron, and he'll be the first one off the first cab off the rank, as we usually say. But yeah, we'll head over next Friday to Las Vegas, and then he fights Tuesday, Vegas, so that'll be Wednesday, New Zealand time, Wednesday.
And all of that action will, of course, be live on ESPN Whānau, so don't miss that. Check your guides for details, but we'll keep you updated as well. But, how is he coming along? Because we did see him over in Perth for a little stint, but we're seeing on social media that he's working really hard and preparing the best he can for this fight and opportunity.
Yeah, it'll be a funny one for me because he's a fighter that feeds off the crowd really well. If you've ever seen him fight live, he just gets the crowd on a whole different level. There's so much energy that he draws from the crowd, and he's a really exciting fighter to watch live, but it's just a different kind of sphere in the apex, because there's only 20, 30 people standing around. It's low key. But obviously, there's with the added pressure of a UFC contract, and you got Dana White sitting there, Sean, you got all the matchmakers sitting there. And the opportunity, I'm sure he'll be able to navigate that as well.
Yeah, because one of the things that stand out is, yes, he's this amazing bantamweight fighter, and we've seen him. He's quite ruthless in the cage and feeds off that crowd, like you say. But he comes with this aura about him, and a psychological strength that a lot of fighters sometimes takes a bit of time to come into that part of their, not character, but you know what I mean, when you're going into something like this. So what would you say about him in terms of his mental strength that he brings to the fight game, as well as what he does?
Yeah, that's a whole different level.
Yeah.
It's a whole different level. It's a lot of the fighters have the skill. A lot of the guys on Dana White series, a lot of guys coming into the UFC, it's not the skill. I'll go into the gym, and then some days you have a bad day, and an amateur will give you, out wrestle you, an amateur will whoop you or catch the best of you. But it's not what it's like. It's obviously you need the skills to get there to succeed, but it's bigger than that. It's performer. Who can do it under the lights? Who can do it in front of 20,000 people? And a lot of people can't. A lot of people have the skills, the work ethic, and all that, all of those various aspects, but a lot of people don't have the ability to perform when the pressure's on, when the light's on, when you got your mortgage payments coming out of your ears. It changes the game, man. It breaks a lot of guys. Some guys thrive, and some guys fold.
Yeah, there's also, it feels like almost, I don't know if responsibility is the word for it, but just the name City Kickboxing, and when you're representing, on a stage like this under such an esteemed gym like City Kickboxing as well, that would come with its own pressures as well, especially if you're coming out as a first timer.
Oh, definitely. But, we do have high expectations of these guys. To say that's part of it. That's part of coming out of City Kickboxing, is you have high expectations. And we do have very high expectations for these next two guys, Aaron Toe, Navajo, Stirling. We are expecting 2 UFC contracts out of these guys. We're not only expecting victories at Dana White Contender Series, but we're expecting both of these boys to walk away with Dana White handing them a contract.
Yeah, and talk to us about that process. We see snippets. We see snippets of them on Instagram. We see snippets of them, on perhaps their YouTube channels, of their film crews following them around a bit. But talk to us about what would a week look like for Aaron Toe in terms of training.
Yeah, obviously, leading into it, you're kind of peaking at the moment. They're putting in the work now. It's what it is. But wake up, go to the gym, train 2-3 sessions, come home, have lunch, sit on the couch for 5 or 10 minutes, and then you're straight back to the gym for another hard session. So these guys are just putting tough sessions back to back to back.
Yeah, and I was talking to you off camera that, we know, well, we don't know Dan Hooker as the fighter, but we haven't really seen you as Dan Hooker the coach. When you go over to Las Vegas this time around, to be with Aaron in particular, you'll be there in more of a coaching role modeling, guidance capacity, you know, to get him over the line and say, you know, get that UFC contract like you say. So, you know, what kind of approach do you take in a coaching capacity?
Oh, just an absolute pest. You're absolute pest. Like you can't obviously physically go in there and help. It's your job to, it depends on how the fight goes. Like, but I'll talk to the other guy as much as I'm talking to my own fighter. Like Aaron himself will hear me. We've had his entire pro career has had me coaching him. So he's very used to my voice, and he can even tune out when I'm making it. I'm just an absolute pest. I'll get into the other guy. I'll tell him what he's doing wrong. I'll get in an argument with his coach. Like, it's because I've had so many fights in the UFC. I've had so many fights that the pressure doesn't really get to me, and I don't get tense on the walkout and stuff like that. I enjoy coaching like a lot more because you can kind of sit back and have like a better view and I'll pick out things from even when I'm fighting, I'm looking in the crowd and talking to people and making eye contact and stuff like that. But when I'm coaching as well, because you can have such a huge impact on the fight, like by throwing the other fighter off, by throwing his coach off, by you know, calling them names, by, you know, you're doing everything you can, because you only, at the end of the day as a coach, you only have your words to change the various course of the fight.
Yeah. And is this something that's just come naturally to you? We know that, you know, you're the captain at City Kickboxing, everyone calls you that. But is that leadership role just something that's come naturally to you in terms of, you know, taking the reins in situations like that?
Yeah. That's just...
love telling people what to do?
Oh, love showing them what to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's the huge contradiction that is our sport. It's both incredibly complicated and technical, and there's so much involved in it, and then it's both incredibly simple. Like, you just need to go out there and ball your fists up and hit the other guy. Like, it's the huge contradiction that is fighting, and I'm just someone that understands that and understands that you need both sides of that coin to be successful.
And how much have you taken away from the likes of, you know, Eugene, Carl Weber, and the coaches that you've had in your career to help, you know, do what you do now?
Yeah, oh, definitely. In my coaching style is I've picked the brains of both of them. Like Eugene, incredibly technical, incredibly cerebral as a coach, and then Carl as well. He's cerebral as a coach, but yeah, that's where I kind of get that I've seen how that impact, because Carl will do it. Carl will talk to the other fighter. Carl will talk to the other guy's corner and stuff like that. And I've been in the fight, and I can hear him making fun of the other guy, and I've seen the other guy sometimes like break, or sometimes like Carl's screaming at him that his game plan's terrible and it's not working, and that the tide is turning and you're just starting to drown, champ. And I can see the fight go out of the other guy's eyes. So I've seen the impact that a coach can have on another fighter, and a coach can have, like, he'll make fun of the other corner and they'll shut up. And now stop giving instructions to their fighter, which is an incredible impact for someone who cannot throw a punch, your coach cannot get in there and help you in the actual fight. All you have is your words. And I can see the impact that those words have had in my own fights. So I know for a fact, like, I've started like talking to the other fighter, and the other fighters, it's happened a few times, like they'll talk back to me. And I'm like, I know I've got you, if me and you are now talking, now you're getting distracted from your main job, which is your fight. You know what I mean?
You're winning this battle.
A lot of fighters, they're going like, oh, Dan Hooker's talking to me. Like, it's like a wild, like they'll, I've been like in the corner, and the guy's going, oh, big fan. And I've told him, look, this is Aaron's last fight. And the guy was talking to me, and I said, brother, focus on Aaron. I said, this is about to turn south real quick, son. I said, don't talk to me. I said, focus on the task you got. And you could see just the look in his eyes just go, oh no.
That's hilarious. You know, does it take a certain kind of fighter to take tutelage from you? Like, I don't know why. I presume you're a taskmaster, because I feel like you have that expectation of yourself when you're training. Does it take a certain kind of fighter to be able to take, you know, coaching from you, or do you feel you can coach anyone?
No, I feel like it's like Eugene says, it's like people have to click as people. I guess that's why, like, me and Aaron get on, because we're like both pretty like-minded. Me and Carl, like both very like-minded people. So we tend to, like click very well. But yeah, I'd say to coach a fighter, you have to understand. You have to understand them as a person. You have to understand like what they're trying to achieve. You have to understand like what triggers them, what motivates them. Because if you don't know any of that stuff, there's so much. It's so much deeper than just technical advice.
Yeah.
Because if your fighter doesn't believe in you as a coach, and you guys aren't speaking the same language, then all the technical advice in the world won't even get filtered through. It'll just get blocked out and voice out, I'm not listening to this guy, like straight away. But I know from, if I tell a fighter to do something, if I tell Aaron to do something, he knows it's because I've done it. I'm like, it's what I'm willing to do as well. Like, and they know from your fights like that they know for resounding fact that this is what I need to do to get my hand raised. But in terms of like people think I'm like real hard on fighters and like, or like this, go out there and show heaps of heart and blah, blah, blah. Like it's kind of the opposite of that, where I don't even require fighters to show me that kind of stuff. Like, especially like that when I had my gym and the amateur guys I was coaching, like once I could see if a fight was like a mismatch, I was like, this fight is just mismatched. Like I would myself just call the fight, because I don't need this fighter to show me his heart, because I've done it countless times and a million times, and I know that it doesn't make you any better. It doesn't improve your skills. It doesn't make you any stronger as a fighter. All it's gonna do to most amateur guys is like dishearten them and make them quit. So it's like, I don't even, it's not time to show that. Yeah. It's not time to dig deep and show them your heart and how far you're willing to push your body. That will come at the right time. But Dana White's Contender Series contract, it's time. It's time to dig down deep and show everyone your heart. Yeah.
There's something that Eugene said to me. I can't remember if it was 2017 or 2018, and it's the one thing he said to me that has stuck through my years of being a journo, and that was, I can't coach anyone who's not my friend. That always stuck with me. I was like, wow, okay, interesting.
Well, he says he doesn't like any of us. I think but he says that like, as we don't need to get on, as friends as such, but like he respects everyone at the gym. He respects what you're trying to achieve. He respects he respects the work, like to put in the work to get to a fight, to go through one of the training camps. That training camp at City Kickboxing is a terrible thing to go
through. Worse than the fight?
It's a meat grinder, like 1,000 times worse than a fight. The fight's easy, but the training is the thing you have to pay me money for. Like, so it's like you have to. He respects that work that you're willing to put in, and the level that you're willing to push yourself.
I like that. And I mean, now you do know Aaron Toe very, very well, and you have that relationship with him. So once you land over there in Las Vegas and you're helping him and assisting him and walking out with him that day, what does that process sort of look like? Like, what is the kind of thing?
Yeah, we'll get over there, and then the hotel they check out is not too far away from the PI. So it's like one session a day at the PI, just get the kind of knock that jet lag out. Time difference to Vegas works out for us really well. And we'll just be ticking away for a couple of days, just knocking it out, making the most of the free lunches. I will be at
You brought this up before. You're a big fan.
I'm a Kiwi man. I take the most of the freebies. I love a freebie. I'll go into I got the free primes, mate. I'll just fill it my bag up every single day. I don't drink water in Las Vegas. I'm living off my primes I steal from the PI.
Okay, cool. And he's obviously bantamweight division. Navajo Stirling will be fighting in the light heavyweight division. And for those at home who may not understand what that is, the same division as Carlos Olberg. So talk to us about him and his preparation. He's a week later than Aaron, and how has he been coming along? I feel like he's like the dark horse that, you know.
Yeah, oh man, incredible work ethic on Navajo Stirling, like absolute physical specimen. looks the part, look very good on a poster. Once you chuck that monster up there with a 12-pack, like he definitely ticks all the boxes that the UFC requires. Same as Aaron, like they're and especially with his mataora, like that'll be the first like UFC fighter or Contender Series fighter to be stepping in there with a mataora, and it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see the fans' response and the UFC's response to that, because like a tattoo on your face in America is like that's quite shocking to them. Like but once Aaron kind of will be able to explain like the meaning behind it and how much it means and its cultural significance, I think there'll be quite a big interest and quite a big shift in understanding from the like American audience.
Absolutely, and I think it's only fitting around Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori that he'll be competing as well. Kind of feels like the stars are aligning for him. So what a time to discuss it, during that time for Aotearoa, which is extra special. Okay, well, and at the end of the month, we also have welterweight Kevin Jousset, your teammate, fighting at UFC Paris. We actually got the opportunity to speak with him last week, and here's what he had to say during his preparations for UFC Paris. Now, speaking of New Zealand-based fighters taking on the UFC this month in September, Kevin Jousset, and he joins us now. Kia ora, Kevin. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me again.
Look, last time we spoke to you, you told us that you had this fight coming up in Paris, but everything is signed, sealed, and delivered now. Everything is announced out there now. You will be fighting Bryan Battle. So talk to us about how things have been going for you so far. Obviously, we've got Dan here as well, so there's been a lot happening in the gym for your fight as well as a lot of other people.
Yeah, definitely. So it was good. We were all in camp together. The boys got their fight in Perth. Now we're back, most of them. And now I'm focusing on my own fight. We are 4 weeks out now. Feeling very good, to be honest. Feeling the best I've ever felt. So just looking forward to go to France and do my thing over there. Yeah,
Bryan Battle looks like it's going to be a battle, isn't it? He's a pretty good fighter, pretty good pedigree, wins fights in all sorts of different types of ways. So talk to us about preparing for a fight against an opponent like him.
Yeah, he's experienced. He fought some good guys to prepare. I did fight some good guys as well. Obviously, like, he's good at what he does. I think the best thing we have in our team is the fact that our coaches are the best at making game plan and really approaching the fight the right way, make sure we use his strength against him.
So you'll probably the last 2 weeks of training, because you said at our last interview that you were going to head over 2 weeks before the fight. Is that still the plans? And like who out of the boys? Because I'd save on my pay grade, brother. What coaches and stuff are making that big trip to France with you?
Yeah, that's right. 2.5 weeks more here in New Zealand. Then Andrea and myself were leaving on Monday the 16th. So we'll have the last sparring, and then we fly over, and Jane would join us probably on fight week or 3 days of the fight.
So what does, the fine tuning look like for you now leading up to that day you fly out?
Well, training every morning, training every evening, recovering in between, and look after my weight and make sure the weight drops down properly. Good recovery, and just same as usual,
I've been interested to see, like, I've seen you post up a few interviews and stuff in French. I wanted to get your take on like what the media is like in terms of your other fights, and in terms of, because you're going back and being able to compete in France, like, do you feel like there's been like a lot more attention around this fight, especially from the French media?
Yeah, big time, 100%. Like, all the big majors over there are getting very interested. They're quickly knowing that I'm going to be my first fight over there. So most of the French fans don't really know me, or they've never seen me fight live. So there's a lot of attention around it. But as you know, it's only media, so I try to don't really think about it too much. Yeah, and just focus on my fight more than anything else.
Yeah, because we've spoken on the show before about how MMA was nearly, non-existent, 2-3 years ago, and it's just blowing up now. Fighters like yourself, Cyril Gane, and a plethora of other French fighters. So too comes with that the media as well. Yeah, that's right. It was not only not a thing, it was illegal. So, I mean, how nice is it to, get to do media and interviews like things like this and speak French and get to connect with the French media?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I'm not the best at doing that, to be honest, but if I can, I'm getting used to it already. But yeah, I think it makes it easier when it's in English. In English, because at least if I say something a bit dumb and stupid, it's like people will understand what not language.
You can be a bit more careful when you're speaking in English.
Yes, no, but it's right. Like I'm getting used to it.
Oh, mate, you go back and watch my early interviews and you're like, what are you saying, Warren?
I was there,
You're
Dan.
just like,
You were saying it.
horrid, bro. It was horrible.
I can't wait for my fucking...
Horrible.
Well, you want to say the right things, right? You want to make a
Yeah.
positive impression and all
Like
these sorts of
Frozen,
things.
it's the first time, all these cameras have been stuck at your face and you just say the dumbest stuff. Don't even.
Well, at least you have guys like Dan to learn from, Kevin, in terms of media.
We learn from the mistakes. That's a good thing.
Yeah, cash this on me, baby.
But in saying that and dealing with French media and things, how nice is it to prepare for this fight, dealing with media with like a taste of home? I mean, you're yet to touch down in France yet, but that must be pretty exciting for you too.
Yes, it is 100%. Like fighting in France was definitely a big goal of mine. I'm gonna have all my family and my close friends gonna come to the fight as well. So I'm really looking forward to be able to show my skills live to like my people. So yeah, it's exciting. But once again, like I think all of those things are like not very important. What really matters is getting into the cage as quickly as possible, winning my fight, and that's it.
Yeah, the sport's kind of popping off in France at the moment. Just had the Olympics over there, going to have a UFC, back over there. But France is doing pretty well on the world stage across the board. Rugby, sevens, doing really well.
Yeah, 100%. We're pretty good in most sports. It's kind of
Not biased at all.
within.
And look, we already mentioned that Brian Battle is, a big opponent for you, a great opponent for you. And what happens after this? Like, what have you got your eyes set on? I know Brian Battle is absolutely the priority, but where do you see yourself headed after this fight? What does this work towards?
Experience taught me to don't watch after the next opponent because you never know what's going to happen. Obviously, I still want better and better guys for every fight, but why now? I know I need to be 200% focused on one guy, and this guy on September 28th. As soon as I beat him, I will think about what's next. I want to be busy, but definitely a thing. But who against and when, I'm not sure. We'll see. I just want to beat this guy.
Yeah, nice one. Wise words, Kevin, wise words. Well, we've been talking to Dan about what's next for him, obviously, after the fact. So we're trying to jump on what you were going to do as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like a funny thing about Dan, 10 days ago or something like that, before he went to his fight, I asked him if he was going to take a holiday afterwards, and he told me, I'm not sure, because I usually end up in the hospital after the fight.
We were just speaking about that. I haven't done a post-fight press conference in 4 years.
Well, Dan Hooker, thank you so much for joining me and all your insight as always. And Whānau will be here next week. Of course, it will be Fight Week UFC 306. You can book that now on Sky Arena. Just go to skyarena.co.nz for all of your booking details. We'll see you next week. Mā te wā.
On September 14th, at Sphere, we will put on the greatest live sporting event of all time. And as we start to get closer, the people who are involved in this card are going to start to feel how special this experience is going to be.
Everything has changed. Dawn of a new day.
You'll never see anything like this ever again in your life. It's a one-of-one.
All for one.
This man is not just a global superstar, he is a sniper.
But Navajo is as elite as they come. 10 consecutive wins.
There's bad blood attached to this fight.
Let's go, baby!
The trilogy fight to end the rivalry.
Alexei and Valentina for the third time. What a phenomenal fight.
Yeah, back you go.
Diego Lopez and Brian Ortega. Those are two studs, man. I cannot wait to watch those guys fight.
A love letter to the Mexican people and Mexican combat sports inside Sphere.
The amount of Mexican fighters and finishers that are on this card, it's going to be incredible.